Present simple tense. The present simple tense is one of the basic verb tenses in English. It is used to describe regular actions, general truths, habits, routines, and scheduled events. Let's explore its structure and usage. Structure. The present simple tense is formed differently for different subjects. For singular subjects, I, you, he, she, it, and plural subject, we, they, we use the base form of the verb, infinitive without to. Examples. I work at a company. She studies English. They play football every weekend. When the subject is third person singular, he, she, it, and the verb ends in s, ss, sh, ch, x, or o, we add s to the base form of the verb. Examples. He watches TV every evening. She brushes her teeth twice a day. The cat meows loudly. Usage. We use the present simple tense for the following situations: habits and routines. Actions that we regularly do. Examples. She always takes the bus to work. We have breakfast at 7 o'clock every day. Facts and general truths. Things that are generally true and not limited to a specific time. Examples. The sun rises in the east. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Scheduled events. Future events that are part of a fixed timetable or schedule. Examples. The train leaves at 9 a.m. tomorrow. The meeting starts in an hour. Commentary on sports, literature, or media, to describe events in sports commentary, summaries, or stories. Examples. He shoots. He scores. The story ends with a surprising twist. Signal words. Certain words and expressions often indicate the use of the present simple tense. Always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never, every day, week, month, year, on Mondays, Tuesdays, etc., in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Negative form. Negative form. To form the negative present simple, use the auxiliary verb do not, don't, or does not, doesn't, plus base form of the main verb. Examples. I don't like coffee. She doesn't play video games. Question form. To create questions in the present simple tense, invert the subject and the auxiliary verb do or does. Examples. Do you speak Spanish? Does he live in London? Spelling note. For the third person singular, he, she, it, in the affirmative, remember to add s, or s, to the verb. However, in the negative and question forms, the verb remains in its base form. Now you have a good understanding of the present simple tense. Practice using it in various contexts to improve your English fluency. Happy learning! Past simple tense. The past simple tense is used to talk about actions or events that happened in the past and are now completed. We use this tense when the action occurred at a specific time or when the time of the action is clear from the context. In English, regular verbs form the past simple tense by adding ed to the base form of the verb, while irregular verbs have their own unique past forms. Formation. For regular verbs, base form plus ed. Example. Talk, talked, play, played, walk, walked. For irregular verbs, each verb has its unique past form. Example. Go, went, eat, ate, see, saw. Usage. To talk about completed actions in the past. Yesterday, I played tennis with my friends. She watched a movie last night. To talk about a series of past actions. We visited London, Paris, and Rome during our vacation. To express the duration of past actions. They lived in that house for 5 years. To talk about past habits or routines. When I was a child, I always rode my bike to school. To narrate stories or events. Once upon a time, there was a brave knight who rescued a princess. Negative form. To form the negative past simple, we use the auxiliary verb did not, didn't, before the base form of the main verb. Example. I didn't go to the party last night. She didn't like the movie. Question form. To form questions in the past simple tense, we use the auxiliary verb did, at the beginning of the sentence. Example. Did you see the new art exhibition? Where did they go on vacation? Signal words. There are some common signal words that indicate the use of the past simple tense. Yesterday, last night, week, month, year, in 2005, ago, once, when, etc. Remember, for regular verbs, add ed to the base form to create the past simple tense. Irregular verbs have their own unique past forms, you need to memorize them. Use the past simple tense to talk about completed actions in the past. Practice. Now, let's practice using the past simple tense. Create sentences using the past simple tense with the following verbs. Visit, eat, swim, buy, run. Visit. Last summer, my family and I visited Paris. They visited their grandparents over the weekend. Eat. Yesterday, I ate a delicious pizza for dinner. She ate sushi at the new restaurant in town. Swim. When I was younger, I swam competitively in the local swimming club. They swam in the ocean during their vacation. Buy. He bought a new car last month. We bought some souvenirs at the gift shop. Run. She ran a marathon last year. They ran to catch the bus, but they missed it. Note, remember that for regular verbs, we add ed to the base form to create the past simple tense, while irregular verbs have their own unique past forms. More practice. Now, it's your turn. Create your own sentences using the past simple tense with the following verbs. Dance. Study. Drink. See. Sleep. English grammar lessons. The present perfect tense. The present perfect tense is a verb tense used to describe actions or events that began in the past but have a connection to the present. It is formed by using the present tense of the auxiliary verb have, or has, and the past participle of the main verb. Forming the present perfect. Forming the present perfect. Positive. Subject plus have, has, plus past participle of the main verb. Example. I have studied. She has finished her work. Negative. Subject plus have, has, plus not, plus past participle of the main verb. Example. They have not arrived yet. He has not seen the movie. Question. Have, has, plus subject, plus past participle of the main verb. Example. Have you ever been to Paris? Has she finished her project? Using the present perfect. Completed actions with a present result. We use the present perfect to talk about actions or experiences that happened at an unspecified time in the past and have a connection to the present. Example. I have visited New York. Unspecified time in the past. The present perfect is used when we don't specify exactly when an action took place in the past. Example. They have already eaten dinner. Actions that began in the past and continue into the present. We use the present perfect to talk about actions or events that started in the past and are still ongoing in the present. Example. She has worked at the company for 5 years. Multiple actions. The present perfect can be used to talk about multiple actions or events that happened at different times in the past but have relevance to the present. Example. I have traveled to Europe, Asia, and Africa. Time expressions used with present perfect. Some common time expressions used with the present perfect include already, yet, just, recently, ever, never, so far, up to now, until now. Example sentences. I have already finished my homework. Have you seen that movie yet? They have never been to Australia. She has recently started a new job. Has he ever been to Japan? Remember, the present perfect is used to connect the past with the present. It is essential to understand the context and the relationship between the past action and the present situation to use this tense correctly. Practice using the present perfect in various contexts to become more proficient in using it accurately. English grammar lessons. The past continuous tense. The past continuous tense, also known as the past progressive tense, is used to describe actions or events that were ongoing or in progress at a specific point in the past. It is formed using the past tense of the auxiliary verb to be, was, / were, followed by the present participle, the base verb, plus ing. The structure of the past continuous tense. Affirmative. Subject, plus was, were, plus present participle. Examples. I was watching a movie last night. They were studying for their exams. He was cooking dinner when I arrived. I was studying. Negative. Subject, plus was, were, plus not, plus present participle. Examples. She was not working. She was not listening to music at that time. We were not attending the meeting yesterday. The children were not playing outside due to the rain. Interrogative. Was, were, plus subject, plus present participle. Examples. Were they playing? Were you waiting for me at the cafe? Was he sleeping when you called? Were they watching TV when the power went out? Usage. Use of the past continuous tense is appropriate when emphasizing the duration of an action or when two actions were happening simultaneously in the past. Emphasizing duration. Example. They were playing chess for hours. Two actions simultaneously. Example. While I was cooking, he was setting the table. Remember, the past continuous tense is used for actions that were ongoing in the past. If you want to talk about completed actions in the past, you should use the simple past tense. Practice will help you become more comfortable with using the past continuous tense correctly. Try creating your own sentences and use the past continuous to describe ongoing actions in the past. Good luck! English grammar lessons. The past perfect tense. The past perfect tense is used to talk about completed actions or events that happened before another point in the past. It helps establish a clear sequence of events and is often used when discussing two past actions, with one action happening before the other. The structure of the past perfect tense is as follows. Affirmative. Subject, plus had, plus past participle of the verb. Examples. I had finished. She had already left when I arrived at the party. They had finished their homework before going out to play. Negative. Subject, plus had, plus not, plus past participle. Examples. She had not seen. He had not completed the project by the deadline. We had not seen that movie before last night. Interrogative. Had, plus subject, plus past participle. Examples. Had they arrived? Had you ever been to Europe before this trip? Had she read the book before the movie was released? The past perfect tense is often used in conjunction with the simple past tense to show the chronological order of events. The simple past tense describes the later action, while the past perfect tense describes the action that happened before it. Example. When I arrived at the airport, the flight had already departed. Key points to remember about the past perfect tense. It is used to describe completed actions or states in the past. It is formed using had plus the past participle of the main verb. It is often used with time expressions such as already, before, by the time, never, once, just, etc. It helps establish a clear sequence of events when talking about the past. Practice using the past perfect tense in various sentences and contexts to become more familiar with its usage. This will help you communicate more effectively and accurately when discussing past events and their chronological order. English grammar lessons. Present continuous tense. The present continuous tense is used to describe actions that are happening at the moment of speaking or actions that are currently in progress. It is also used to talk about temporary situations or events that are happening around the present time. In the present continuous tense, we use the present form of the verb to be, am, is, are, along with the base form of the main verb plus ing. Form. Affirmative. I am, plus verb, plus ing. You are, plus verb, plus ing. He, she, it, is, plus verb, plus ing. We are, plus verb, plus ing. They are, plus verb, plus ing. Examples. I am reading a book. She is watching a movie. We are studying for the exam. Negative. Subject, plus am, is, are, plus not, plus verb, plus ing. Examples. He is not, isn't, working today. They are not, aren't, coming to the party. Interrogative. Am, is, are, plus subject, plus verb, plus ing. Examples. Are you going to the concert? Is she playing soccer? Usage. Actions happening now. Use the present continuous to describe actions that are taking place at the moment of speaking. Example. I am eating dinner right now. Temporary actions. Use the present continuous to talk about temporary actions or situations happening around the present time. Example. She is staying with her friends this week. Future plans. We can also use the present continuous tense to talk about future plans when they are already confirmed or arranged. Example. We are meeting at the park tomorrow. Annoyance, complaints. Sometimes, the present continuous tense can be used to express annoyance or complaints about someone's behavior. Example. He is always interrupting me during meetings. Remember, the present continuous tense is used for present actions, so make sure the time frame is appropriate when using this tense. For actions that happen regularly, the present simple tense is more appropriate. Practice. Now, let's practice using the present continuous tense. Form sentences with the following prompts. I, study. They, not, listen. What, she, do. We, go. He, where. Answers. I am studying for my exams. They are not listening to the teacher. What is she doing? We are going to the park this afternoon. He is wearing a blue shirt today. Great job. Keep practicing to become more comfortable using the present continuous tense in your everyday English conversations. English grammar lessons. The present perfect continuous tense. The present perfect continuous tense is used to talk about actions or events that started in the past, are still ongoing in the present, and are expected to continue into the future. This tense emphasizes the duration or continuous nature of an activity, and it is often used when the focus is on the action itself rather than the result. Forming the present perfect continuous tense. To form the present perfect continuous tense, you need the auxiliary verbs have, or has, the auxiliary verb been, and the present participle, the ing form, of the main verb. The structure is as follows. Positive statement, subject, plus have, has, plus been, plus present participle, ing form of the verb. Examples. I have been studying English for 2 years. They have been working on the project since morning. She has been learning to play the guitar. Negative statement. Subject, plus have, has, plus not, plus been, plus present participle. Examples. He has not been practicing regularly. We haven't been paying attention. Question. Have, has, plus subject, plus been, plus present participle. Examples. Have you been waiting for the bus? Has he been playing video games all day? Usage of the present perfect continuous tense. Actions started in the past and still continuing. Examples. I have been living in this city for 5 years. I started living here 5 years ago, and I still live here. They have been dating since college. Their relationship began in college and continues until now. Ongoing actions with temporary relevance. Examples. She has been working on her presentation all morning. She is still working on it, but the focus is on her current effort. He has been feeling sick lately. His feeling sick is relevant to the present moment. Actions that may continue into the future. Examples. We have been saving money for a vacation. The saving process is ongoing and may continue until they have enough for the vacation. They have been looking for a new house. The search is still ongoing, and they may continue looking. Annoyance with repeated actions. Example. She's been constantly interrupting me during the meeting. Her interruptions have been irritating, and it's still happening. Time expressions used with present perfect continuous. Time expressions like for and since are commonly used with the present perfect continuous tense to indicate the duration of the action. Examples. I have been studying for 2 hours. Duration. 2 hours. They have been waiting for the bus since 9 o'clock. Duration. From 9 a.m. until now. Key points to remember. The present perfect continuous tense focuses on ongoing actions that started in the past and continue into the present. It is formed using have, or has, been, and the ing form of the verb. Use for, and since, to indicate the duration of the action. It is different from the present perfect tense, which is used for completed actions or experiences with a connection to the present. Remember, to practice using the present perfect continuous tense in various contexts to become more fluent in its application. Happy learning! English grammar lessons. The past perfect continuous tense. The past perfect continuous tense, also known as the past perfect progressive tense, is used to describe actions or events that were ongoing in the past, were still in progress, and had been going on for a specific duration before another past event took place. It is formed using the auxiliary verbs had been, and the present participle of the main verb, ing form. Formation. The formula to form the past perfect continuous tense is as follows. Subject, plus had been, plus present participle of the main verb, verb plus ing. Examples. I had been studying for 3 hours before the phone rang. They had been working on the project all night before they finally finished it. She had been cooking dinner when the guests arrived. He had been practicing the piano before his fingers started to hurt. Use and meaning. The past perfect continuous tense is often used to establish a connection between two past actions or to indicate the duration of an action that took place before another event in the past. It emphasizes the continuous nature of the action or event, highlighting its duration leading up to a specific point in the past. Key points. Duration. The past perfect continuous tense focuses on the duration of an action in the past. It tells us how long the action had been happening before it was interrupted or before another event occurred. Specific time reference. The past perfect continuous tense is commonly used with time expressions like for, since, all day, all night, before, etc. to provide a clear reference to the duration of the ongoing action. Connection of events. This tense helps establish a sequence of events in the past, showing that one action was happening continuously before another action took place. Examples of time expressions. She had been jogging for an hour before it started raining. They had been waiting since morning before the bus arrived. He had been practicing the speech all day before the conference began. Differences between past perfect continuous and simple past. The past perfect continuous emphasizes the duration of an action leading up to another past event, while the simple past focuses on completed actions in the past without highlighting their duration. Past perfect continuous. She had been painting the house. Focus on duration. Simple past. She painted the house. Focus on completion. Interrogative form. Had she been studying for the exam before she fell asleep? Negative form. They had not been working on the assignment before the deadline. Practice exercises. Rewrite the following sentences in the past perfect continuous tense. She waited for the train. Add duration. They played football. Add duration. I worked on the project. Add duration. Fill in the blanks with the correct form of the past perfect continuous tense. He studied for 2 hours before he took a break. By the time I arrived, they wait for over an hour. She was tired because she danced all night. Conclusion. The past perfect continuous tense is a valuable tool in English grammar to describe ongoing actions in the past with a focus on their duration and their connection to other past events. By practicing and using this tense, you can improve your English language skills and express yourself more effectively in various situations. Happy learning! English grammar lessons. The future simple tense. The future simple tense, also known as the simple future, is used to describe actions or events that will happen in the future. It is one of the most commonly used tenses in English and is quite straightforward to construct. In this lesson, we will learn how to form the future simple tense, when to use it, and some examples to illustrate its usage. Formation. To form the future simple tense, we use the auxiliary verb will, followed by the base form of the main verb, infinitive without to. The structure is as follows. Subject, plus will, plus base verb. Examples. I will go to the party. She will study for the exam. They will travel to Europe. For negative sentences, we simply add not, after will. Subject, plus will not, won't, plus base verb. Examples. I will not, won't, attend the meeting. He won't arrive on time. We won't forget your birthday. Use. The future simple tense is used in the following situations. Predictions. To talk about future events we believe will happen. Example. The weather forecast says it will rain tomorrow. Intentions. To express a decision or intention to do something in the future. Example. I will call you later this evening. Promises. To make promises or offer assurances about future actions. Example. I promise I will help you with your project. Offers. To offer help or services in the future. Example. I will carry your bags for you. Spontaneous decisions. To announce a sudden decision about the future. Example. It's too hot in here, I will open the window. Time expressions. Time expressions often used with the future simple tense include tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, in the future, soon, one day, later, in a few days, in a few weeks, in a few months, etc. Examples. She will travel to Paris next month. We will meet our friends tomorrow. I will finish my assignment soon. Future continuous versus future simple. It's essential to understand the difference between the future simple tense and the future continuous tense. The future simple is used for general predictions, intentions, promises, and spontaneous decisions, while the future continuous is used for actions that will be in progress at a specific time in the future. Compare. Future simple. I will visit my grandparents this weekend. General intention. Future continuous. I will be visiting my grandparents at 3 p.m. on Saturday. Specific time and action in progress. Exercise. Now, let's practice using the future simple tense. Complete the following sentences with the correct form of the verb in the future simple tense. I buy a new laptop next month. They not come to the party tonight. She travel to Japan next year. We help you with your homework later. He call you when he arrives. Answers. Will buy. Will not. Won't. Come. Will travel. Will help. Will call. In conclusion, the future simple tense is a useful tool to talk about future events, intentions, promises, and predictions. By using will, with the base form of the verb, you can confidently express future actions in English. Keep practicing to become more proficient in using this tense in your daily conversations and writing. English grammar lessons. The future continuous tense. The future continuous tense is used to talk about actions or events that will be in progress at a specific time in the future. It is formed using the auxiliary verb will, or shall, for the first person singular and plural, and the base form of the main verb, with the addition of ing at the end. The structure of the future continuous tense is as follows. Positive, subject, plus will, shall, plus be, plus verb, base form, plus ing, plus object, complement. Examples. I will be studying at the library tomorrow. She will be preparing dinner when we arrive. They will be playing basketball at 4 o'clock. Negative, subject, plus will, shall, plus not, plus be, plus verb, base form, plus ing, plus object, complement. Examples. He will not be attending the meeting later. We will not be traveling to Europe this summer. The dog will not be barking during the movie. Question. Will, shall, plus subject, plus be, plus verb, base form, plus ing, plus object, complement. Examples. Will you be coming to the party tonight? Will they be working on the project tomorrow? Shall we be waiting for your call? The future continuous tense is used to emphasize the ongoing nature of an action or event in the future. It often implies that the action will be in progress for a limited duration, or that it is part of a planned arrangement or schedule. Here are some key points to remember. Use will be, or shall be, as the helping verb with the base form of the main verb and ing to form the future continuous tense. Use it to describe actions that will be happening at a specific time in the future. Use it to talk about ongoing actions or events in the future. It is often used with time expressions such as tomorrow, next week, at 3 o'clock, etc. Now, you can practice using the future continuous tense in various contexts to become more familiar with its usage. Happy learning! English grammar lessons. The future perfect tense. The future perfect tense is used to talk about actions that will be completed by a specific time in the future. It expresses an event that will happen and be finished at some point beyond the present. In essence, it is used to indicate a future action that will have already been completed before another event or time in the future. Structure of the future perfect tense. The future perfect tense is formed using the auxiliary verb will, followed by have, and the past participle of the main verb. The structure is as follows. Subject, plus will, plus have, plus past participle of the main verb. For example, she will have finished her project by tomorrow. They will have gone to the concert by the time we arrive. Usage of the future perfect tense. Completed actions in the future. The future perfect tense is used when we want to express that a particular action will be completed before a specific point or event in the future. Example: by the time the train arrives, I will have completed my assignment. Predicting or assuming an action in the future. We can also use the future perfect tense to predict or assume an action that will have happened by a certain time in the future. Example: I am sure he will have eaten all the cookies by the time I get home. Expressions of time. The future perfect tense is often used with time expressions that indicate when the action will be completed. Example: by next month, I will have lived in this city for 5 years. Negative form of the future perfect tense. To form the negative form of the future perfect tense, use will not, or its contraction won't, before have. Structure. Subject, plus will not, won't, plus have, plus past participle of the main verb. Example: he won't have finished his work by the end of the day. They will not have arrived before the show starts. Questions in the future perfect tense. To form questions in the future perfect tense, invert the subject in will. Structure: will, plus subject, plus have, plus past participle of the main verb. Example: will you have completed the project by tomorrow? Will they have left before the party starts? Contractions in the future perfect tense. The future perfect tense can be contracted as follows: I will have, I'll have. You will have, you'll have. He will have, he'll have. She will have, she'll have. It will have, it'll have. We will have, we'll have. They will have, they'll have. Practice exercises. Exercise 1. Complete the following sentences using the future perfect tense of the verbs in brackets. By this time next week, she complete her exams. We finish the project before the deadline. They leave for their vacation by tomorrow morning. I am sure he find a new job by the end of the month. Will you arrive at the party before it ends? Exercise 2. Write 5 sentences about what you will have done by the end of the year. Conclusion. Congratulations. You've learned about the future perfect tense and how to use it to talk about completed actions in the future. Keep practicing to solidify your understanding of this verb tense and improve your overall English language skills. English grammar lessons. The future perfect continuous tense. The future perfect continuous tense is used to describe an action or event that will have been ongoing for a specific duration of time in the future. It is formed by using the auxiliary verbs will have been, along with the present participle form of the main verb, ending in ing. Forming the future perfect continuous tense. To form the future perfect continuous tense, use the following structure. Subject, plus will, plus have been, plus present participle. Ing form of the verb. Examples. I will have been studying English for 3 years by the end of this semester. She will have been working at the company for 10 years next month. They will have been traveling around the world for 6 months when they return. Usage of the future perfect continuous tense. Duration before a specific point in the future. Use the future perfect continuous to express actions or events that will have been ongoing up to a specific time or point in the future. Example. By the time he graduates, he will have been studying medicine for 8 years. Emphasizing the ongoing nature of an action. This tense is used to emphasize the continuous and uninterrupted nature of an action that will be in progress until a particular moment in the future. Example. By tomorrow evening, I will have been waiting for her arrival for 5 hours. making predictions based on current evidence. We can also use the future perfect continuous to make predictions about something that is likely to be ongoing in the future based on current evidence. Example: if they continue their training, they will have been improving their skills significantly. Questions in the future perfect continuous tense. To form questions in the future perfect continuous tense, simply invert the subject in will, then add have been, followed by the present participle of the verb. Example: will you have been working on this project for 3 months by the deadline? How long will they have been living in that city by next year? Negatives in the future perfect continuous tense. To make negative sentences in the future perfect continuous tense, place not between will and have been. Example: she will not have been studying French for a year by the end of the course. They will not have been waiting for us for too long. Signal words. Some common signal words that indicate the use of the future perfect continuous tense are: by, a specific time or date; for, a specific duration, practice exercise. Construct sentences using the future perfect continuous tense, incorporating the given signal words. By, he worked at that company for 10 years. For, we travel for 2 hours when we reach our destination. By, will she study for the exam by tomorrow? For, they play tennis for 5 years by the end of this month. Answers to the practice exercise. He will have been working at that company for 10 years. We will have been traveling for 2 hours when we reach our destination. Will she have been studying for the exam by tomorrow? They will have been playing tennis for 5 years by the end of this month. That's it. Now you have a good understanding of the future perfect continuous tense and how to use it in various contexts. Practice using this tense in your everyday conversations and writing to become more proficient in English grammar.